wanted to share a quick video to help you kind of run through an assessment to identify, where the biggest opportunities might be in your online marketing strategy right now, so that you can come to the meeting and kind of be mentally prepared with kind of where the room is for improvement, how you can generate better results. So I want to walk you through this model. I'm going to ask you to rate yourself in this process. So if you could grab a pen and paper and just draw a triangle and kind of map this out with me, this will give you a high-level understanding of kind of what our service offering is and where there's a match between what we do and where you're looking to go and where there might be room for improvement. So you can either track along with me mentally or take out a piece of paper and mark this down. Really what we're after here is accelerated growth. So let me make sure that my pen is ready. Okay, so accelerated growth for your home service business. And really what we focus on, what we found are the three biggest pillars to accelerate your growth are lead flow, right? How many leads are we getting? Where are they coming from? Conversion, which is how well are we converting those leads and those opportunities into booked jobs? And then ultimately, optimization, right? If we can really optimize the campaigns, optimize the strategy, we can have a knob that we can turn to really accelerate growth and maximize your lead flow online. So really when it comes to lead flow, there's a couple of key sources that we would suggest you tap into. The first would be organic, right? Which is just people going to Google, let's say, or going to Bing and looking and finding you in the non-paid listings, finding you in the non-paid search results. And there's lots of things we can do to move you up organically and drive really high quality lead flow at a low cost per lead. So organic, then there's paid, right? Which would be like Google ads, Google local service ads, Facebook ads even, really just driving more paid traffic to your website, to your landing pages to truly generate more opportunity outside of just the organic. And then there's your database, which would be your list of past customers, your list of past prospects, the people in your industry that know you in your local market that may or may not have done business with you in the past. A lot of people forget about their database as an opportunity to maximize their lead flow. And so what we're going to be looking at is organically, how well are you ranking organically? How well are you showing up for the results? And what I'd like to ask you to do is just traffic light yourself on these, right? So if you could say right now, as it relates to organic, we're doing great, right? We rank for all the keywords. If you look in My City, you type in My City plus My Services, plumber, plumbing, drain cleaning, water heater repair, AC repair, I come up everywhere, right? Then that you would give a green, right? Crushing it, right on top of the ball. Now, if you feel like there's room for improvement, right? You're doing okay, but there's lots of keywords you don't rank for. Maybe the surrounding cities and surrounding towns, there's room for improvement. That I would give a yellow, and then red would be something you're like, nope, not really ranking well at all, right? There's a problem in our organic results. We're not ranking well. We're not generating very many leads. We're not generating much traffic from that channel. So this is what I'd like you to do is kind of as you're going through this, and we're going to do due diligence coming into the meeting to point out, hey, organically, these are the keywords. This is where you're showing up and where you're not. And we'll be able to tell you, hey, this is red, right? There's lots of room for improvement, so let's really focus on that. Or we might say, hey, that's green. You're doing really well, and these are all the keywords you already rank for. So that's what I mean when I say I want you to kind of run this as an assessment, rate yourself, find out where there's room for that level of improvement. So organically, that's our organic non-paid listings. Paid search is how well are we tapping into the paid opportunities, right? There are people searching every single day for your services in your market. And when done correctly, we should be able to get you in the paid results, whether that's Google local service ads or whether that's Google ads directly or whether that's Facebook ads. How well are you tapping into this channel right now? Are you generating leads on demand? Do you have the ability to say, hey, I'm going to spend another X amount to generate more book jobs for my trucks to keep the trucks running and the business running. Green, yellow, red. Green on this if you're like, yes, I know exactly what my cost per lead for each of these channels is. I've got strategies running with strategic landing pages and strategic offers that are converting really well. Yellow would be, we're doing it, but I don't know. Like, I mean, I really think there's room for improvement on paid. And then, red would be, I'm not even doing any paid search, right? Or I'm running paid search and I'm losing my butt, right? I'm not making any money on it. So hopefully that's clear there. That's what we want to focus on from a lead generation. We want to drive leads. That's the beginning of the equation. The next part is conversion, right? Who cares if we've got a bunch of leads coming from all of these different places if we don't convert? And I just recognize I skipped database. I talked about the fact that you've got prospects, you've got money sitting in your database, people that you've done business with in the past, people that have requested, let's say, a quote in the past but just didn't buy. How well are you monetizing that? Do you have database reactive campaigns that run based on season? Do you have database reactivation to bring those unconverted opportunities into the fold? Red, yellow, green. Green is you're sending database emails and text messages on a consistent basis. Yellow, you do it now and then, but it's not really dialed in. Green, red, not at all, right? You're not doing anything with the database, right? The database reactivation is just a green, like blue ocean opportunity for you. And for a lot of plumbing, HVAC, and home service contractors, we find there's lots of free money to be found right here in database reactivation. All right, so moving to the conversion side of the equation, first of all, your website is the biggest driver of conversion. Because regardless of what you do marketing-wise, with your SEO, with your pay-per-click, with your social media, with your trucks, with your local community involvement, the fact is everybody's going to wind up at your website and they're going to look at it and they're going to say, is this a quality organization? Do I want to do business with them or not? There's lots of things we can do with your website to enhance conversion. So red, yellow, green, you've got an amazing website. It's built to convert. It's like amazing. It's got all the right conversion elements. It's got personality. It's got authenticity, and it makes people want to do business with you instantaneously. Yellow, you feel like, it's all right. It could be better. It's not bad, but we didn't really strategically think about it from a conversion perspective. And then red would be, it's not great, right? It needs to be redone. It's not converting at a very high level. And in my mind, we want our website to be converting at 30% plus, right? And there's lots of things we can do with the website, from site speed optimization to mobile optimization to conversion optimization, to really improve your conversion rates. The second part of conversion is your reputation, right? Which is how many reviews do you have on Google, on Angie's List, on Thumbtack, on the various public sites? What's the average sentiment? Is it people saying you're amazing, or is people saying, some mixed, good and bad? How proactively are you responding to the reviews that you get? Like, is every review getting a response, good, bad, and indifferent? Or maybe that's an area for improvement. The fact is, most people are going to check two things before they convert into actually calling you and booking the job. They're going to check to see what reviews do you have. Are you a solid company? Can you be trusted, right? And so that's important. And your website, they're going to look at the website and see, like, is this a good website? Is it built to convert, right? So these are, what we find is, these are conversion leaks that most home service companies have. So from that perspective, green, you've got an amazing reputation. Lots of people write good things about you. You get reviews every day. You've got a proactive process where review requests are happening again and again and again. And you're on top of the reviews. Every review, good, better, and different, gets a response. That's green. Yellow, you've got some good reviews. You're well received in the marketplace, but you don't have a proactive approach to get new reviews. You're not responding to the reviews that you do get. And then red, you'd say, yeah, we're not doing great. We haven't really, it could be either you don't have any reviews or you've got some bad reviews and you don't have a proactive approach to it. So super important. And then number 3 is automation. And again, if I think about most home service companies, this is a huge opportunity. So by automation, I mean when somebody goes to your website and fills out a form, for instance, do you have an immediate text message that goes out, an immediate email that goes out, an immediate call connect where they can press a button and be connected? The question here is, are you following up with every lead in 2 minutes or less via phone, email, and SMS? Yes or no? And then do you have drip follow-up? Because let's face it, sometimes they request information, but they don't book the job, and they get busy. And so what we find is you want to touch your prospects at least 5 to 7 times. So that can be done manually, but very hard work, and most home service companies just don't have the bandwidth to do it. Or it can be done via automation. And so the question is, do you have that automation built in? Do you have automation where when someone calls in, if the phone isn't answered for some reason, a text message goes out to them immediately? Do you have automation where when when someone calls in and they're interested but they don't book, right? They're interested but they're just like, let me call you back, or let me check with my team, unconverted lead follow-up campaigns. So that's what I'm looking for here, automation-wise. Green, you've got all that in place. Every lead gets followed up with via phone, email, and text. You've got emails and follow-up messages and calls happening automatically where they're being touched 5 to 7 times after they request the quote. And when they call in and they don't convert, there's automation in place for that as well. So that's green. Yellow, you've got some of it. You are quick to follow up on leads, but you're not really using automation. Red, if it's like, nah, don't do any of that. Basically, they call in and either we answer it and they book, or they don't, and hopefully they call back at some point in the future. That'd be red for me, and that's a huge opportunity. I find most home service companies, this is a big, big, big piece of the equation that needs to be solved for. So that's the conversion side of the equation. And then the third pillar really is optimization. We need to know, like, how much are we spending? How many leads are we getting? What's our average cost per lead? What's our return on investment? And in the absence of that, any amount of money probably is too much in our digital marketing. So optimization-wise, a couple things we want to know. We want to know total spend, like how much are we actually spending, and have an easy way to see that. Average cost per lead, and we want to know ROI. Like, actually, how much did I spend? How many jobs did I book? And what's my true return on investment? So as it relates to your optimization side of the equation, green, you know exactly these numbers. You can look at a dashboard at a moment's notice and say, okay, here's how much we spent this month, here's how many leads we generated, here's our average cost per lead, here's our ROI, and I'm ready to go, bring on 2 or 3 more trucks so I know I can increase my budget, right? So that's green. Yellow would be, you obviously you know how much you spend, but you're not really sure what the average cost per lead is, and the ROI is kind of gray, it's kind of nebulous, and so you don't really have a lot of confidence in scaling, but you know it's working. It's like, got to keep it going, but don't really know how to accelerate it forward. And then red would be, you're spending money, you don't really know, you couldn't really tell you whether your average cost per lead is good or bad, or whether you're spending enough or spending too little. It's just kind of red, right? And if you're red in this area, it's hard to continue to spend any amount of money in marketing because you need to have those numbers dialed in. You need to optimize for it. And so here's where we're after, right? Here's what we really want to get to the meat and potatoes with you on your strategy session, on your lead flow acceleration session, is that if we can generate leads, right, lots of leads, what that is opportunity, right? We want to maximize opportunity. When we can generate conversion, that's where money is made, right? Where those jobs get booked, that turns into money. And where we can optimize and know, okay, how much are we spending? What's our average cost per lead? What's our return on investment? That's where we can accelerate, right? Because at that point we know, all right, yes, this is dialed in. My average cost per lead makes sense. Let's go spend more. Let's go expand our lead channels. Let's go get more active with our database reactivation. Let's accelerate things to the next level. And so hopefully this gives you a clear idea of kind of the model on how you can really accelerate the growth within your plumbing, HVAC, home service business, and kind of what we can bring to the table to help you bridge the gap here. And I know as you look at this, maybe you're looking at it and you say, you know what, I've got some reds, right? I'm not really doing database reactivation, which is pretty frequent. I'm definitely not tapping into automation, and I track some of this stuff, and my ROI isn't great. Let us know that going into the meeting. Hey, I looked at that video. I kind of have a sense of the plumbing and HVAC SEO accelerated growth model. Here's where I think there's room for improvement. That way we can focus on the area of our strategy session and the area of our service offering that's going to meet you where you're at and help drive the best results. Maybe you look at it and you say, you know what, Yellow, I would say, we're doing pretty good with paid and organic. I've got a pretty great website. I think it's not perfect, but there's definitely room for improvement. I know how much I'm spending, right? But, I would say these areas could be improved. And then maybe there's some greens, right? Maybe you feel like we're an awesome company. We've got a great reputation, right? People love us, right? And I have a pretty solid understanding of what's going on with my business. So ideally, if you tracked along with me, we've got this model drawn out. You're clear on what you need to do to drive leads, maximize conversion, and optimize so that you can accelerate growth. Really excited about jumping on with you and kind of walking you through this model. You're going to be meeting with Christian, my director of business development. He works with all of our clients on the front end through this process and can really help you identify what you need to do to accelerate the growth of your plumbing, HVAC, or home service business. So really honored to have the opportunity. Look forward to diving into this with you, and we'll talk to you soon.